Okay, today I'm going to talk to you guys about the process of creating your sugar skull for Art Fundamentals. So this is a finished product. So this is a combination of marker and colored pencil. I selected one color harmony for this. I used complementary, so you can see the purple and the yellow. And that creates a complementary color harmony. There are some other colors mixed in, but overall it's a complementary color harmony. So you're going to want to pick one to use, okay? Before you get there, you should be working in your sketchbook to create a design that you're happy with, okay? Once you get a design that you like and that you're ready to go forward with, you are going to get a larger template. Okay, you are also going to get a piece of 12 by 18 tracing paper. That's out of the way. Okay. So the tracing paper will look like this, 12 by 18. You're going to fold it in half long ways. Let's see if I can get this focusing thing out of here. So the opening would go over here to the left, and you would line the crease up with the edge of your paper, okay? And not the edge of the paper, where the skull drawing stops. And you could get two little pieces of tape here if you want to make sure it doesn't move. You're going to use a pencil, but just to make sure everybody can see, I'm going to use a marker. And you're just going to carefully trace the outline of the skull. And you don't have to use a template. You can also use your own if you prefer. If you want to draw your own skull freehand, go for it. That would be great if you did that. So when you're all done tracing that, it will look something like this, okay? And then the trick with the tracing paper is, the reason we have it folded is that we can actually just flip it over. And now we can see the lines that we just drew through that, and I can actually go back over and trace those lines again and make sure that I have a symmetrical design. And then when I open up my tracing paper, I will be able to see my whole design, okay? So in this example, I traced my skull. Okay, I flipped it over, I traced most of the other side of it, and then I started drawing some little designs. So let's say you draw some sort of decorative element around the eye socket, okay? When I flip it over, I can see that through my tracing paper, and now I can trace that and make sure that design is symmetrical, okay? And I'm rushing through this. You guys would take your time and make sure that it's perfect, okay? But that's the idea, and then you would be able to open it up and see the whole design, and everything would be symmetrical. If you want to create a pattern or a design up in the middle of the forehead that's not symmetrical, that's okay. It should still have a sense of balance, but you could do something that's not totally mirror image up at the top. So my example now looks like this. Okay, so I started by drawing on this side, okay, have some designs going on in the eye socket, all along the cheeks and all, and then I flipped it over and I traced those lines again to make sure that they were on both sides of my skull and that everything was symmetrical. When you open it up, it looks like that. My plan is to continue with like a lily or something in the forehead, and maybe some more designs or repeating some of these lines down here around the cheek area. Okay, so when this is all done, you will then transfer to Illustration Board. Illustration Board is the same material that we used for our illuminated initials. It will hold up to any wet or dry media, so it's really good if you want to incorporate some watercolor or even some acrylic paint. So once this is all done, you're going to get a piece of that illustration board. It's going to be bigger than your design. You will use a ruler and measure a 1-inch border all the way around your design, okay? And once that's done, you will take your tracing paper, center it within that frame that you drew, okay? 2 little pieces of masking tape at the top so it doesn't move. You'll get your transfer paper. Remember, you want it to be dark side down, so the graphite side will go down. You will sandwich that in between. You will trace all of these lines again to transfer to the final surface. Okay, so this is a student's example that I have here, and she is adding some feathers to the background. She started outlining some areas with permanent marker, and then she filled the areas in with colored pencil. Okay, markers don't work for coloring in large areas because you'll get streaks, but they're really good for outlining some areas, and then you can use the colored pencils to fill it in, as in my example. And what we talked about with our illuminated initials, you can get gradients where it goes from one color to another, or from one darker value to a lighter value, creating some depth by creating shadows of things that are behind other things in your drawing. Okay, so that is the basic process of how to create a sugar skull. So if you are behind or you've missed a lot of class, this should get you kind of brought up to speed so that you can make sure you're on track to finish the project on time. Okay, if you have any questions, you guys can just shoot me an email and we'll go from there. Okay, so good luck and have fun drawing your sugar skulls.